Hello there. Hi, welcome back to Adventures in Music with me, Jim, where we listen to, talk about, and do all sorts of things music-y. Now, this is a new feature that I think might have legs, or it might die a death, I don't know. But I'm feeling good about it at the minute. Have you ever wished that there was a greatest hits album of your favourite artist that you had compiled yourself? Now, this does sound a little bit like being a playlist, doesn't it? And it probably is really, or a mixtape. But I feel I could do something a little bit more. A CD, which was the musical choice for most people during the 80s, 90s, up till quite recently, has 78 minutes worth of music on it. So what I'd like to do is to max out my CD uh, of greatest hits for this band. I'm going to do others as well. I'm thinking maybe Pink Floyd. I could do AC/DC. Could do some Deep Purple. I could do Muse. I could do Radio. There's all the bands that I love. There's some stuff that I could do this for all of them. But I'm starting here. I'm starting with Iron Maiden, and I want to choose tracks from all of the studio albums from the 1980s, Volume One. If we get to Volume Two, I'll be looking at further tracks as we go along. But this is where we're going to start. So, a starting place, of course, is going to be from the album Iron Maiden. And the very first track that we can have on here is the calling card. It's the Iron Maiden anthem. It's their rallying call for the band, for the fans. There'd be a riot if it was never played at any of their gigs. It's the title track of the album. It's the name of the band. It's Iron Maiden. It's a rallying call for all fans of the band, and it's their calling card basically. It is their announcement of intent. Of course, this has got to be the first track on my greatest hits of Iron Maiden album. The second track, though, is Phantom of the Opera from the same album, and this is a longer track. Comes in at just over 7 minutes. It's the first time they've, well, that's their first album, but they are hinting at with this track their enjoyment of doing longer form songs. It is the tale of the Phantom of the Opera. And people of a certain age in this country will recognise this from being the music used in an advertisement for Lucasade, with Daley Thompson running in the background. But I remember it for being Iron Maiden, and it is my second track to be on the greatest hits album. We then move on to 1981, to Killers. This is an album which actually doesn't get a lot of love from the fans, unfortunately. And I don't really know why, because I think it's absolutely incredible. It's one of my favourite records by the band. And I'm going to include two tracks from this album on my greatest hits. And the first one is Drifter. Absolutely love this song. I love it, love it, love it, love it. It's the last track of the album, and it's such a sort of it would be the I probably in this era. I just imagine this is like the end of the gig song to play, because it's so raise the roof sort of thing. It's absolutely fantastic. That would be my next choice for on here. And people who know me might think I'd then go for Prodigal Son, which is one of my all-time favourite songs by Iron Maiden, but I'm not going to include it on here. I'm going to go for something which is a bit more upbeat, something a bit more in your face, something a bit more killery. It's Killers. Of course it is. The title track from this album, Killers, is absolutely phenomenal. It is just timeless, instantly recognisable. The guitar part at the beginning, of the scraping down the fretboard, the lyrics, Paul Diano snarling the lyrics out as we go along. Incredible guitar solos on here. Everything about it is just fantastic. This is my second choice from this album. Our fourth track for the greatest Iron Maiden hits of all time, whatever I'm calling this. And the title's changing all the time as we go through here. Anyway, so we're now on to album number 3. This is, of course, The Number of the Beast. The breakthrough album, the album that launched their careers basically all over the world. It is upheld by most people with knowledge and taste and understanding of metal and of the music scene as being the greatest metal album of all time. It regularly is the number one or number two spot, and I can't argue with that. It is absolutely fantastic. There are any number of tracks on this album that could be on this greatest hits album, but the greatest hits album can't be all from one album, because otherwise it would just be that album, wouldn't it? So I'm taking two from here. We're going to start off with, of course, Hallowed Be Thy Name. An absolute anthemic, brilliant masterclass in delivery of music, of story, of performance. The writing by Steve Harris, of course, is second to none, and the track is another long one. This one comes in at just over 7 minutes, and it is not, I don't think it's been played at every single concert, but it is being played pretty much at most of them. It comes in the encores normally, and it is just one of those tracks that everyone can't wait for it to be played. It's an absolute banger. It's a slow burning song, but it absolutely revs it up and gets going full tilt midway through in the guitar solo, all the way through to the end. Bruce's vocals on here are extraordinary, and it's just the most incredible album finishing track that I can think of. We also have another track we need to take from this album. Well, I'm not going to go for Run to the Hills, which would be the obvious single, but I'm going to go for the title track from here, The Number of the Beast. I did contemplate putting on The Prisoner or 22 Acacia Avenue. Both brilliant songs. In the end, I had to go with The Number of the Beast, not only for it being the album track itself, but for being such an important song for the band, for the fans. So iconic. No one else could have done this song, and it's just brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. I just so wish that Iron Maiden, as their career had continued into the 90s, 2000s, had been able to produce songs like this, because they just didn't. I mean, I still love them dearly, but they're not doing songs like this anymore. We then move on to Peace of Mind, the fourth album from 1983, I think this is. Love this album. This is the first one to have Nico McBrain. So Nico McBrain's now joined, Clive Burr has left, and we've got two tracks to take from here. So I'm going with Revelations as my next track to have on my greatest hits album. Revelations is a little bit of a slow burner in places, but it, again, like Hallowed Be Thy Name, it absolutely ignites in others. There's a part at the beginning which is an extract from a hymn. O God of earth and altar, bow down and hear our cry. Our earthly rulers falter, our people drift and die. And the tune that goes with that, it is an English hymn, and it's worked into the Iron Maiden song brilliantly. So Revelations is my first choice from Peace of Mind. Then next up, we're going to go with I guess the lead single and probably the most played track that Iron Maiden have got anywhere. It's The Trooper. It's an absolute tour de force of music, of guitar, of drums, of bass, of lyric. It is just an unstoppable juggernaut, musically representing the charge of the Light Brigade. The signature galloping rhythm is absolutely present and correct here. And I remember this when it came out. I was like 12 or 13 years old, and I was just absolutely blown away by this song. And I think most people were at the time, or people who are into this sort of music. And it remains to this day, 40 something years later, as an absolute epic piece of heavy metal. And it's hard to surpass this. It absolutely has got to be on my greatest hits of Iron Maiden. Of course it has. So we've now moved on to Powerslave. Oh, this is an album. This is oh, all of these albums, all of these first 7 studio albums. There's you could just get as like a Rizzler paper between them, between how good they are. But we have to choose 2 tracks. So I'm going to go with Powerslave, the title track from this. I adore this song. It is so good. It's the story of an Egyptian pharaoh who believes he is a god, and he dies, and he is just a mortal man. He's not a god, of course he's not, and he's it's all about the sacrifice and the bloodletting of the slaves, and oh, it's just so good. Guitar solo on here is incredible. It's just absolutely phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It became, although it's not a concept album, the song itself lent itself to the imagery for the album, which is why we've got the pyramid on the front, and we've got the Egyptian god standing either side of Eddie in the middle, the sphinxes, and it actually, of course, informed the design of the tour. So all the stage work, the lighting, the backing, the props, everything, it was all very Egyptian, and it was because of the song. So of course this has got to be on there. And we have one other song to pick. Well, I can't go with the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. It's too long. It's gonna fill up my CD. I can't put that on. So I'm leaving that off, but I am going for 2 Minutes to Midnight. So this is one of 2 singles, but 2 Minutes to Midnight is an absolute banger of a tune. This is an Adrian Smith piece. I don't know if he wrote it entirely or whether he was with. No, it's with Bruce Dickinson. So Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson wrote this. It's got a very different sort of feel as a result from a lot of the Steve Harris pen tracks, but it's rightly part of Iron Maiden lore, and this is normally up there with the Run to the Hills and the Trooper and Aces High. Oh, Aces High. 2 Minutes Midnight is the story of the doomsday clock getting closer and closer and closer to the end of humanity, the doomsday, as it were. It's a subject that the band has come back to time and time and time again, of war, of destruction, of just mankind's relentless marching forwards to self-destruction. It's a song about that, and it's a very, very, very good song. So that is the Powerslave nominations, Powerslave representations. We then move on to Somewhere in Time. This is such a great album. I adore this as well. I adore them all. I've had to take 2 songs from here. I'm going for Wasted Years as my first one. It's another Adrian Smith track. It's a different feel, very, very different feel for Iron Maiden. It's almost biopic. It's talking about life on the road rather than the story of swords or of from history or of murders and stuff like that, which often the stories are about. This is actually a real life, just yearning for being back home, getting fed up of being out on the road and playing all over the world. Lucky bastards that they were, but they obviously you get fed up with it after a while. It's again another absolute landmark track of theirs, and very, very much loved by the fans. Not always played, but often enough is very, very recognisable, and is a distinguished part of my album. It's one of my greatest hits. I love it. Then the second one, might surprise some people, but my second choice for this album and my penultimate choice for my greatest hits album is The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. Now, there are many tracks on this album I could have chosen to have on here, but this one holds a special place for me. I just love this song. I really, really love this song. It's got really interesting different parts to it. Tempo changes, feel changes. It feels like you're running. It's a song about running, long distance running, and it feels like it. The way the rhythm works, it's very, very clever, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's a good one to listen to when you are out running. But that is my choice for my 12th place on my album, which means I've got one space left because I've got not a lot of time left. Well, I could have done a couple of small ones on here, but I'm not going to. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Oh man. Concept album. Quite a proggy album. Probably the proggiest they did. I'm going to wrap up my greatest hits album with nearly 10 minutes of one track called Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. It is the title track from the album. It is 10 minutes of prog metal goodness. It's as proggy as you like. It's incredible. It's full of intricate guitar parts. We have synthesizers in here for which is unusual for Iron Maiden, but they're starting to introduce them by this stage. We've got a story that threads its way through the whole album, and it just is fan-bloody-tastic. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is my final edition for my greatest hits album, Volume 1, Iron Maiden. Fantasy Greatest Hits, Iron Maiden Volume 1. There we go. So that is where I'm going to leave it. What do you think? What do you have in yours? Remember, you can only run to 78 minutes. You can't go any longer than that because it has to fit on a little CD. And that's the limit. So there we go. I'll do some more of these another time, but I thought I'd just do that for this afternoon because I fancy doing it. And I like doing these sort of videos. I'll see you on the next video whenever and whatever that is. Until then, this is Jim, over and out.